Your worst betrayal didn't come from a stranger. It came from someone who knew your secrets. Someone who sat at your table, smiled at your dreams, and nodded along while quietly planning your downfall. And if you think about it honestly, if you think about the person who hurt you most in your entire life, it wasn't an enemy. It was a friend. A partner. A family member. Someone close. And there's a chilling psychological reason why it almost always happens this way. Most people spend their lives building walls against the wrong threats. They lock their doors against strangers. They watch for enemies in the distance. But the real danger? It's already inside the house. And today, you're going to understand exactly why, so that you never have to be blindsided again. Let's start with something psychologists call the proximity principle. Here's what most people don't understand: closeness doesn't just breed love. It breeds comparison. And comparison, left unchecked, becomes resentment. Think about it. A stranger who succeeds doesn't bother you. A celebrity who gets rich doesn't keep you up at night. But your neighbor who buys a nicer car. Your colleague who gets the promotion you wanted. Your childhood friend who suddenly starts thriving while you feel stuck. That stings. And it stings because of proximity. Researcher Abraham Tesser developed what's known as the self-evaluation maintenance model. It shows that the closer someone is to you, and the more relevant your success is to their own identity, the more threatened they feel by your growth. Your progress becomes their mirror. And when people look into that mirror and don't like what they see, they don't blame themselves. They blame you. They resent the reflection. Envy doesn't shout. It whispers. It festers silently in the gap between your progress and their stagnation. And the person sitting right next to you, watching you every single day, they feel that gap more than anyone else on earth. Now here's where it gets deeper. Every relationship you have carries an invisible scoreboard. Psychologists call it the equity theory of relationships, developed by J. Stacy Adams. It works like this: in every friendship, every partnership, every bond, both sides are unconsciously keeping track. Who gave more? Who sacrificed more? Who called first? Who showed up? Who was there during the hard times? And as long as both sides feel the score is roughly even, the relationship holds. But the moment someone feels the ledger is unbalanced, the moment they believe they've invested more than they've received, something dark happens. They don't tell you. They don't sit you down and explain. Instead, betrayal becomes their twisted form of justice. They feel owed. And when a person feels owed, they give themselves permission to take. Permission to lie. Permission to sabotage. In their mind, they're not betraying you. They're collecting a debt. Seneca saw this 2,000 years ago. He wrote, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment on his debt." But what happens when gratitude runs out? When the other person starts keeping score differently than you. That's when the knife comes, not from the front, but from behind. From the hand you once held. And this is exactly what the ancient Stoics tried to warn us about. Not because they were cynical, but because they were honest. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, wrote something in his private journal that still stops people in their tracks 2,000 years later. He wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." Now pause and think about that. This wasn't written by a bitter man. This was written by an emperor. A man surrounded by senators, generals, advisors, people who smiled at him every single day. And yet he knew. He understood that betrayal is not an exception to human nature. It is woven into it. But here's the part most people miss. About Marcus Aurelius. He didn't say this to become paranoid. He didn't say this to stop trusting people. He said it so he wouldn't be destroyed when it happened. He was inoculating himself. Like a vaccine for the soul. Because the pain of betrayal doesn't come from the act itself. It comes from the surprise. It comes from the distance between what you expected and what you got. The Stoics understood, if you expect loyalty from everyone, you are building your peace on sand. And sand always shifts. Now, everything I've told you so far might make sense in hindsight. You can look back at your own betrayals and see the envy, the scoreboard, the resentment building. But what about the betrayals you never saw coming? The ones from people who seemed, genuinely, deeply, loyal? This is where it gets truly unsettling. In psychology, there's a concept called strategic self-presentation. It was extensively studied by researchers like Edward Jones and Thane Pittman. And it describes something chilling, the ability of certain people to deliberately mirror your values, your beliefs, your personality, in order to earn your trust. They don't just agree with you. They become you. They reflect back exactly what you want to see. They laugh at your jokes the hardest. They support your dreams the loudest. They validate your feelings before anyone else does. And you think, finally, someone who truly understands me. But what's actually happening is far more calculated. They're studying you. Learning your blind spots. Mapping your insecurities. Building a blueprint of exactly where you're vulnerable. Psychologist Robert Hare, who spent decades studying manipulative personalities, found that the most dangerous individuals don't look dangerous at all. They look like your most trusted ally. They wear the mask of loyalty so perfectly that when it finally slips, when the betrayal comes, you don't just feel hurt. You feel insane. Because the person who hurt you seemed like the last person on earth who would. And this is the twist most people never consider. The depth of a betrayal is directly proportional to the depth of trust that preceded it. A stranger can't betray you. Only someone you trusted can. Which means your trust itself, the most beautiful thing you offered, became the weapon used against you. Epictetus said something haunting about this. He said, "It is not he who gives abuse that affronts, but the view that we take of it as insulting." In other words, the betrayal didn't break you. Your expectation of loyalty is what broke you. So what do you do with all of this? Do you stop trusting people? Do you build walls so high that no one can reach you? No. And this is the most powerful lesson the Stoics left us. The answer isn't paranoia. The answer is discernment. There is a massive difference between the two. Paranoia says, trust no one. Discernment says, trust, but verify. Watch. Observe. And above all, judge people by their patterns, not their promises. Here's what most people don't understand about reading character. You cannot see someone's true nature in comfortable times. Comfort is a costume. Everyone looks loyal when things are easy. When there's nothing to envy. When the scoreboard feels balanced. The real test, the only test that matters, is adversity. Watch what people do when you fail. Watch who stays when there's nothing to gain from being near you. Watch who celebrates when you rise after falling. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that things are difficult." Apply this to your relationships. Dare to see people clearly. Dare to let adversity reveal what comfort conceals. And here's a practical principle you can use starting today. Never give anyone the power to destroy your peace. This doesn't mean you don't love. It doesn't mean you don't open up. It means you stop outsourcing your emotional survival to another person's loyalty. Your inner peace must have a foundation that no one else built, because anything someone else built, someone else can tear down. Now let's step back and see the full picture. Because when you connect all of this, something profound emerges. Betrayal is not random. It's not bad luck. It's a pattern, as old as human history and as predictable as the tides. Proximity creates comparison. Comparison breeds envy. Envy poisons the invisible scoreboard. And when that scoreboard tips far enough, the mask slips. Julius Caesar wasn't killed by Gaul. He was killed by Brutus, a man he loved like a son. The blade that cuts deepest is always held by a familiar hand. But here's the liberation hiding inside this dark truth. Once you understand this pattern, it loses its power over you. You stop being surprised. You stop being shattered. You stop asking, how could they? Because you already know how. And why. And when. You begin to see people not as you wish they were, but as they actually are. And that clarity, that painful, beautiful clarity, is the greatest protection you will ever have. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." Seeing the truth about human nature isn't cynicism. It's sanity. So love people. Trust people. Open your heart. But do it with your eyes wide open. Do it knowing that not everyone who sits at your table is eating with you, some are studying the menu. Do it knowing that the ones who clap for you in public may curse you in private. And do it knowing that none of that, absolutely none of that, has to steal your peace. Because your peace was never theirs to take. It was always yours to protect. Remember this. The Stoics didn't teach us to stop trusting people. They taught us to stop being destroyed when people prove unworthy of that trust. Expect the best from yourself. Prepare for the worst from others. And build a life so grounded in your own character that no betrayal can shake the foundation. Because at the end of the day, the only loyalty you can truly control is your loyalty to yourself.